You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
Hi. Hey.
What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
Tune in now on hot7025fm.com.
Check. 1 2 1 2. You already know what it is. If you don't know, you about to find out right now. I want to welcome everybody to the first episode of this year 2023 version of Holla at the Homie. It's your number one advice column line that you can call in, you can write in, you can send us in, you can stop by the studio if you got an invite. Don't come unannounced, because we do got some people around here that will get you on up out of here real quick. But we at Holla at the Homie, where you come in and you talk to the homie anytime you need to. You let him know exactly what's on your mind, and we will break it down for you the best I can. Now, just to let y'all know as a disclaimer, I have not been clinically proven to be able to handle these problems for you, but living vicariously either through others or through the experiences of myself, I've been able to come up with a few answers for all the people interested at hollering at the homie. So the Holla at the Homie is that exactly what it is right here on hot7025fm.com. You can call in at any time at 702-551-5261, or you can hit us at hollaattthehomie@gmail.com. That's HOLLAATTHAHOMIE@gmail.com, or you can hit us up right here at hot7025fm.com/holla at the homie in the subject line. So that's the way you can get all these questions and answers that you need and you're looking for, and where you can find us at any given time. And yes, I said it before, I am 360 the Poet. That's THAPOET, better known as the Atmosphere Pioneer, better known as Holla at the Homie. And we are right here, as always, on hot7025fm.com, giving you the best at all we have to offer. So that pretty much breaks down exactly what this show has to offer, what we're going to be doing here. Since it's the first episode of this installment, I want to at least kind of give y'all a chance and opportunity for me to break down why I came up with this particular idea. Most of the time, I came up with it for the fellas. It started off as something at the fellas, where the fellas, we really don't have anybody to talk to, especially us black men. We don't really say, I'm not okay that often, and it's not always to be, heavy or anything like that. But sometimes when it's anything on our mind that we may be up in odds about, or we may have, need some help considering what the right outcome might be, whether you following this individual's advice or not, sometimes it's good to at least have a sounding board or somebody with whom you can be able to connect with in a certain way where you trust enough to be able to talk to them. So like I said before, I've got people that come to me all the time, and I guess it's because the experiences that I go through. I've never been to law school, so I'm not able to judge you. Just to let you know, I'm not a judgmental person, but my answers may come off raw and uncut, but they're going to be from the heart, and they are going to be something that you can at least say, you know what, I appreciate you for taking the time to hear me out and help me with this here situation. So that's how Holla at the Homie got started. And it's been continuing on. Like I brought it on to the Morning Wood with me and E. Carice every Wednesday morning, which we'll be returning soon. We'll keep you posted on that. We're going to figure out which day it is. On the Morning Wood, we brought it as a segment so people can get a chance to kind of air some things out and find out exactly how to handle those things if they decide to take the advice of the homie. But again, I'm here to let y'all know that this is a judgment-free area that you can call into at 702-551-5261, or you can send me an email at hollaattthehomie@gmail.com, or you can hit us up at hot7025fm.com, subject line, Holla at the Homie. All right, so with that being said, you got all the details and things of that nature going on with the show. We're going to talk about a little bit about how you can become a sponsor here at hot7025fm.com, and that way you can be able to find out exactly how you can put money into backing, 360. It don't have to. It can be money. It can be merchandise. We'll get you a little sponsorship letter to make sure it can be tax deductible for you. things like that, to make sure that you are giving in a way that you feel like you're at least being recognized for what it is you do. So big shout out to blingedout.com for them giving me this shirt. They made these shirts for me right here. The Atmosphere Pioneer, blingedout.com. My sister-in-law, Mara, is cold. She vicious with the machine. And I had this shirt for a minute, and it ain't, it's no crinkles in my letters. It's nothing like that. So that is a sponsorship right here for this particular show. With that being said, let's kind of get into it. We're going to drop a few commercials on y'all to let y'all know exactly what we do here at Hot 7025. And then we'll get into the letters that we have. We'll get into some responses that we've got. And we'll talk a little bit more about all the things that we have to offer here at Hot 702 and with Holla at the Homie. So I'm going to drop a couple commercials on y'all real quick. But always, don't let me know. If y'all out there in the real world, let me know. If you're following online, let me know. If you a follower of one of the other shows, let me know. We got a bunch of talent here at the station. We based out the desert, but we are in 17 different countries. We got over 3.5 million listeners worldwide. So it's a chance for people who got independent music. We got a segment a little later on called What You Said, where we break down and give you an example of what people's lyrics say to us, to me, here at the station. But I also give those entertainers an opportunity to break down what they were thinking when they said those particular words or when they wrote those words down. So big shout out to all those people that's out there watching live, whether it be Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or wherever we are. But here's a couple commercials for you. Yeah. So also, if we got anybody who's out there who's interested in becoming a DJ here at hot7025fm.com, send us a resume. Let us know what you got to offer. We always accept the new talent, but you will be, I'm not going to say vigorously, but you will be screened prior to get you a flyer right here at hot7025fm.com. So I see people that came in to us right now. Big shout out. What's up to y'all going on out there in the world? All my TSU Tigers and things of that nature. People out here in the Viva Las Vegas, my desert rats, as I like to call y'all, because we get it in out here. And folks over there in Cali, I see a couple people checking in from me from Nashville. What's happening? Tennessee, salute. All my Los Angeles out there, my LA folks, whether it be Inglewood, up to no good, we out here. So, big shout out to my people from the Mitten. I see a couple people that's logged in from up there in Michigan. A couple people from the Murder Mitten. I don't want to call it the Murder Mitten, but I'm going to call it the Mighty Mitten, because y'all like to talk smack about, I live right here. And we from right here. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know if it's my thumb or what. But they hollering at the homie today, too, as well. So we break into one of the artists that we play here on hot7025fm.com. And again, if you're trying to get your music on, send it to us at hot7025fm.com. And then in the subject line, make sure you put new music or put smash or pass. And we'll make sure we get that evaluated for you to be able to get some music on to Hot 702. So let me work out these technical difficulties here real quick. And I'll go ahead and press this music and we'll be back. Let's check 2 and 2. But we're going to continue on with the show.
I shed so many tears over the years. Lost so many friends that's not here. I faced all of my fears. I swallowed all my tears. Now what's up now? Now what's up now? What's up now from here? Up now, now what's up now? Now what's up now from here? What's up now? Now what's up now? Now what's up now from here? I faced all of my fears. I swallowed all my tears. Now what's up now? Now what's up now? What's up now from here? Over the years, lost so many friends that's not here. I faced all of my fears. I swallowed all my tears. Now what's up now? Now what's up now? What's up now from here? Up now, now what's up now, now what's up now from here. It's up now, now what's up now, now what's up now from here. I faced all of my fears, I swallowed all my tears. Now what's up now, now what's up now, what's up now from here. Over the years, lost so many friends that's not here. I faced all of my fears, I swallowed all my tears. Now what's up now, now what's up now, what's up now from here. Up now, now what's up now, now what's up now from here. It's up now, now what's up now, now what's up now from here. I faced all of my fears, I swallowed all my tears. Now what's up now, now what's up now, what's up now from here.
Radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Oh, we back like cook crack. I know Icarice hate when I say that. She don't understand how cook crack bounce back. We're not going to get on that. We're going to stay on the positive side of things. But that's how we bounce back around this thing. And we still here. If y'all didn't know where you were, you right here at hot7025fm.com with the homie 360 the poet on Holla at the Homie. The inaugural show, live and direct on Hot 702. It went from a segment to a show on y'all. You best be ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Because we are here in full effect. It's the number one advice line. If you didn't know what it was, or for those who just joined us, this is the number one advice line where you can come get judgment-free, non-judgmental, mind you, non-judgmental advice, pure, unadulterated. So just be known, but better strap your boots up and put your seatbelt on, what have you, because I'm going to give it to you raw and uncut. But I'm going to give it to you. Just best believe. So with that being said, we're going to talk about why we here. You know, I've had people throughout the years email me, call me, pull me to the side and be like, hey, what's up? Tell me a little something about this. So now I just told them, if you really have a question, sometimes we in different atmospheres or different situations where it's not conducive for us to converse or anything like that. So I tell them just, hey, shoot me an email at hollaatthehomie@gmail.com, and I'll really, really, really break down how I feel about what you're saying and give you a real response. I can type it to you, call it to you, talk to you on situations like this where we're on live on the air, and we'll make it happen at whatever cost. So I recently received a few letters, so I scanned through a couple of them on my email, and I pulled this one out for the main reason because I knew I'd be in here with somebody who would actually be an expert on the idea. I've got some insight on it as well personally, as well as I've been around others who have done the same, but I've got somebody in the office with me, in the studio with me, who's actually an expert in what we're talking about. So we'll bring that person on shortly after we get through the letter and after we talk about what it is we're here to discuss. So it goes as follows. It says, like I said before, send in your emails, send in your letters at hollaatthehomie@gmail.com or hot7025fm.com. And it goes like this. It says, what's up, homie? I have been wrecking my brain about whether or not to start a new business. I recently came up with the capital necessary to fund a business idea that I've been sitting on. Without telling you all my biz, let me tell you a little about myself. I'm a 33-year-old blue-collar worker with a wife and no kids. My wife also works, but like me, she has her own financial ambitions. So when this nice amount of money bestowed upon us, we We both automatically thought cha-ching. We were praise dancing around our apartment, all excited, until we started to talk about what to do with the money. Of course, we both thought of our own wishes and dreams and how the money could bring them to fruition. We were at odds in which direction to put the focus, so she felt that her business idea could be more beneficial to us as a family, and I thought the same about my idea. After a lengthy, that's all caps that he wrote it in, discussion, she conceded with going with my idea, and she even said that she would do all she could to be supportive in any way she can. All of that sounded perfect until I started second guessing our decision, but I can't tell her that, especially after the big fight that I put up for us to go with my idea. So my question for you, homie, is this. What should I do? Tell her I've made a mistake and I think we should go with her idea, or should I just suck it up and actually go all in on the project that I've been putting on hold for so long? Can you help a brother out? Sincerely, scared to pull the trigger. Well, this one here, man, when I read it, I thought about it and I broke it down in a few different ways. And I'm going to bring my expert on in a little bit to talk about it, but I'm going to give you my take on it first. First, your name says a lot about how you're approaching the situation. You know, like I said, it's non-judgmental because it lets me know that it's fear that is holding you back. It's not lack of preparation that you've said. It's just more along the lines of the fear of the unknown, because it says you're scared to pull the trigger is the name you associate it with. So the fear of you being able to actually do what it is that you say you're going to do with this idea that you've been sitting on is the thing that's holding you back. And to me, fear is false evidence that appears real. So that's one way I looked at it. Like you, in your mind, it appears as if you're making things up that are holding you back from being exactly what it is you want to be. So that's one thing I talked about. Now, thought about. Now, another thing that I broke down inside the letter was how you put up a big fight to go with your idea. Now, whether it was, your male bravado, or whether it was the fact that you really stand on and believe that what it is that you have an idea of doing will be better for your family, or maybe it was the fact that you just didn't want your wife to win. I don't know. I'm not in that part of your relationship. I'm here talking about what you put in the letter for me to break down for you. Now, if it's a situation where you really believe that what you have in store, because like I said, I know you don't want to give me your business ideas. I'm not going to run with them or anything, but me talking to the audience, somebody out there might, so it's good you kept that to your vest. But if it's a situation where you are just more feeling like you need to control it, or you really believe in what it is that you're doing, then I say you need to put the fear to the side. And the only way to do that is really first talk to your wife about that you are afraid. Let her know that you're afraid, because she said that she's going to be supportive in any way that she can. And if she's really going to be supportive, she's going to support you in your fears and in your beliefs. So that way she knows exactly what she's up against. So that's step one in breaking down the fear of what you're talking about. But step two, like if you believe that her idea is that great, then I don't see an issue with, if there's a nice amount of money, why can't y'all put something towards both ideas? Now, if it's necessary for you to go all in on one and put the other one to the side, then again, I'm not here to talk about your financial situation, but you said it must have been a nice amount of money. If you praise dancing, if it's enough to fund one idea fully, I believe if you've both been sitting on your ideas and they both could be productive and help you out as a family, you don't have any kids. So this calculated risk doesn't have as many people involved as far as like an adverse response to what you do. So it's just you and her, you said, you've got an apartment, so it's no mortgage involved in it. So these are things like you looking at it as if, what is my calculated risk? So I feel like if you both have great ideas to the point where you actually had to sit down and, for one, thank you for being open enough to discuss it with one another, because if you're going to have a help partner, a life partner, you have to be able to discuss these things, especially finances. But if you both have great ideas, then maybe look into putting something towards both of them. Or if you really don't feel like you can do what you need to do with your idea right now, if you're not ready and you believe that she put down a platform and an idea and understanding and situations where you believe she is, then flip it over. Be like, you know what, babe, let me just flip this situation. Let's go all in on yours. If it's meant to be, we'll get to mine. That's my take on the situation. I opened my business during the pandemic. So it was a completely different situation because it was really like, let's find a way to make money. So I can't really say like as far as her idea versus my idea. I opened my business during the pandemic. So that means everybody was back against the wall. So it worked out for me. But that was that situation. Now, if I were to do it now with the business ideas the business acumen, as some people would say, that I've been able to gain over the last 3 years, then I think I'd be able to handle it a lot better, even with more discussion going in with my spouse. I believe she'll be able to believe in me more because I've been able to keep this business afloat and out of the red for 3 years. So that's my take on it, scared to pull the trigger. For one, let's go back and recap. One, find a way to eliminate the fear. And some of that may be coming in, swallowing your pride and talking to your woman about the fact that you are afraid. And that may help you. She may be able to actually help you get through the situation, get through the fears that you have. She may be able to break down the situation to where it'd be like, okay, babe, you're afraid of this? Well, you've got me here for this situation. Or step B, break it down for all of y'all, both of y'all, to be able to put money towards your situations. Or C, if you believe in hers more than yours, then go all in behind her and be as supportive for her as she said that she would be for you once y'all decided to go in your direction. I like to have somebody here to talk about, well, let me, period, exclamation point, whatever, go into the next phase. I always like to have somebody around me when I'm helping individuals that is able to speak intelligently and through experience. I believe experience is the best teacher. So I was fortunate enough to have somebody in studio with me today that is able to speak on starting a business, taking a chance at opening multiple businesses. She happens to be a friend. She actually happens to be the station owner because this is one of her businesses. And I'd like to invite her in to be able to come in and talk a little bit about what she thinks and what her feelings are on this letter. So y'all, new to some and known to many others, I'd like to welcome my co-host is on another show, but the boss of the station, but also a friend of mine, Icarice. Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
You're official, like a referee with a whistle. Look
Yeah.
at you.
I'm on the board.
I'm here for it. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you may be. How you feel?
I feel good. You know how it is, butterflies in your tummy and things of that nature. But I feel good. I'm sitting with my back erect.
Good. Okay, so tell me the synopsis of this letter again. Just a brief.
Yeah, let me give you a brief overview.
Okay.
So we got a gentleman by the name of Scared to Pull the Trigger who says he's a 33-year-old blue collar worker. He and his wife are married. They have no kids. They both have ambitions of opening or starting a second stream of revenue, and they recently came into a nice amount of money. Mm-hmm. He didn't say the amount. He didn't say where it came from. All he gave us was the fact that they came into a nice amount to the point where it was praise dance worthy. But now they had a discussion on what to do with it. Mm-hmm. They were debating between whether to go all in on his idea or all in on her idea. And then she conceded to him, being a great help partner, great life mate, and said that she would be as supportive as she possibly could in every way she can while they support his endeavors. But then he said that was all fine and dandy until he started second-guessing himself and second-guessing the situation or whether or not his idea was better or what have you. So he just wanted to know from me, should he tell her he made a mistake and they should go with hers, or should he just finally suck it up and go with his idea and go all in? What's your take on this, being a multiple business owner?
I think that, we all have challenges when we think about our livelihood. And are we going to be broke, starving, or homeless, right? We're like, okay, if I start this business, am I going to be broke or homeless? Can you turn me up just a little bit?
I sure can.
And then you think about, all right, so, and then you have imposter syndrome, right? I think that right there,
Speak on that a little bit.
Man, imposter syndrome is it's essentially I'll say layman's terms, right? It's essentially saying I'm doing this, but I don't believe I can do this. Like, I don't believe that I have the tools and resources to be great at this. Or if I got to this point, like, I don't even believe that I should be here. And I think that a lot of us have that, especially when it comes into business. So we have to talk ourselves off the ledge, okay? Because, if you've already gotten to the point where you have this great idea, and they seem like they both have great ideas, so that they might need to execute both. I mean, I don't know, talk it through, figure out. Or, if there's one that's going to, essentially have a return on investment sooner than the other, or one that for sure has a long-term effects where, it's, I don't know, recession proof. Okay.
Say it again.
See which one is going to work well. And then, go from there, and then don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Las Vegas, they say scared money don't make no money, although I'm not a gambler. When it comes to the casinos.
I'm a hustler, not a gambler.
When it comes to casinos, I'm not a gambler, but I will take a chance on myself. So, don't be scared. Just go out there and, do whatever you can to get all the tools and resources to help your business be successful, and just do it. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. How'd you feel? Did you feel afraid when you started yours?
I wasn't afraid. I was more along the lines of I was nervous. I'm not gonna say I was afraid. I was nervous because it was a area of business that I had never been in. But I looked at it again as like a recession-proof type of business. I went in with an investor, who also had the same, like, he had belief in me to bring it to life, and he was happy because he got paid off, so he was happy about that. But it was beneficial for him in the end. But I wasn't scared, but I was nervous. Like, dang, what if? The what ifs. The what ifs are like the biggest hurdle in front of anybody. Like, what if it doesn't go? Or what if I'm not good? Or what if, people, talk bad about me?
And what if?
Exactly.
What if? What if you start the business and the shit just go awry?
Right.
What are you gonna do?
What exactly?
What's next? Do you revamp? I mean, there's been plenty of times where I've had to revamp certain things. In the pandemic, we're closed.
Yes.
We're losing sponsorship because the other businesses who sponsor or purchase advertisement from the station, they can't do it anymore because they don't even know what's happening. They don't know what's going on in the world. So they're afraid. So they're like, oh, we might need to pull away some of this advertisement and marketing. And it just, you don't know. And I think that all of us going through that specific experience shook all of us up.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Like in everything, whether you had a job or whether you had a business or whether you were sitting at home on your butt the whole time, you got shook. And unfortunately, and fortunately, some of us, were able to either dig ourselves out of it and, make things great. And then, too, some of us are experiencing the residual effects of COVID now versus right away. So it's just we're all pushing through it. But, like, what if things don't go the way you want it to? What do you do? Do you revamp? Do you figure out, what's next? Do you get a job? Do you, figure out if you need to do something different with the business? What if it goes great? And what if you just, it becomes extremely successful? What if?
Yeah, and then that's the other side of the coin. Like, that's another fear factor. If people come in and be like, well, dang, what if I do well and I can't maintain my success? Will I then feel like a failure?
Right.
And that's a question you can ask yourself, but failure is a state of mind. In my opinion, failure is a state of mind. Because I tell people all the time is just because I suffer a loss doesn't mean I'm defeated. And that's the thing. Like, because you learn in losses. You say you missed that?
You just lost
it. I'm saying you just lost. That's all it was. You're not defeated. You're not completely depreciated in any way to where you can't come back on just a loss. So like, yeah, you may not be able to maintain, but you're only a loser if you feel like it.
There's some losers in the world now.
But
let's not.
But no. If let's rewind. You're only a loser if you feel like it, or if you carry yourself like it,
or if you're just a loser, right? Let's talk some real talk.
She
here.
said everybody some schlep rocks out there.
Everyone is not a winner, and I mean that's just like everyone's not a business owner. Some people are employees, and some people are followers, and some people are this, and sometimes you're both. You know what I mean? So it just depends on like what's your goal. Write it down. Are you going to stick to it? Are you going to put in the work to make it happen? And then are you going to invest in yourself in order to be successful? That's it.
And that's the biggest thing. Like big up to Javon Banks. He was saying right now, he was like, the fear of success is real. People are afraid to succeed, and it's mainly because they felt like they have lost so often that it's a foreign language to them to be successful.
Yeah, that's an imposter syndrome.
Exactly. Like, why am I here? Why am I supposed to be here? Am I not supposed to be here? You're there by, however you call it, divine intervention, whether it be the universe put you there, whatever your belief system is on how you got to the situation where you are, you're in it. So now what? It's like, like people say they should call it slow sand instead of quicksand because you slowly get sunken into it. But the more you fight it, the faster you go. If you go along with the direction. Have you been
in quicksand before?
Never. It's one of my biggest fears in the world. That's why I don't dwell around it.
Someone else just told me that recently.
Like, cause for one, I'm claustrophobic as hell. Like, if I can't move my arms, I'm dead.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
No say way. No say way. Now, I'm not gonna panic. I'm gonna try to breathe it out. But I'm
360 gonna be stuck. No arms, nothing.
I'll be like,
wiggle up.
Get my snake on. I used to be a break dancer.
Oh my goodness.
But like if you fight against the proverbial quicksand that your mind has put you in, you really just kind of just walking through the dust. It just through your sweat, through your tears, it turns into quicksand. Turns into like a muddy type of situation around you if you sit in it. If your tears and your laughter and your sweat, if you give that out while moving, now you're producing you're watering the areas that follow behind you. That's how I look at it. Like when I sweat, when I cry, if I sit in it, I'm being a puddle and I'm gonna get dirty and nasty.
That's a good analogy. You good with analogy.
Thank you. See, that's why you holler at the homie. Right. But if you moving while you sweating, if you moving while you crying, now you watering the ground for the people to come behind you to, for one, know you've been there because it's your water that you put out there. This the growth. They following behind you anyway. Everybody's got somebody that follows them. Why you think social media is so successful? Because it's not friends, it's followers. Remember before you used to have MySpace friends?
Right.
Now you have followers.
You still got MySpace?
No, mine kept glitching. I had too much stuff on it.
They finally canceled my MySpace.
They might have. Yeah. They canceled my Black Planet in like 20.
Not your Black Planet.
I had that first. Boy.
I think Solange got something to do with Black Planet now.
Do she?
Yes.
I need to get back on it.
She invested.
Invested.
Invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself, people. Yeah. And that's the thing. And that's so Mr. Scared to pull the trigger. Don't be scared. Click clack. But pull it where it needs to be pulled, though. Don't just shoot aimlessly like you doing a drive-by. Nah, don't come shoot.
But sometimes, though, when you first get a gun, you get the little paper with the little body on it, and you go to the range, and then you practice.
Yeah. But at least you're taking aim.
You're shooting your shot somewhere.
You shooting somewhere.
It never lands.
Exactly.
But eventually, one day you go and you keep shooting your shot and you get the little paper, you reel it in, you be like, dang, I got that.
I'm all 10s.
And I think that
this is a marksman.
But I think that you just have to, just trust yourself. My whole thing was when I first started my business, I was like, I'm responsible to not be broke, starving, or homeless, right? And then I had to think about too. Okay, what if I am broke?
Starving.
Am I gonna be homeless? No, because my family not gonna let me be homeless.
Right.
Okay. Am I going to be starving? No, because my family's not going to let me be starving.
Right.
And those of you who may not have that access, like, what about your friends? Or are you really going to starve? Can you just access resources that's going to help you through? Like, are you too prideful to access certain resources? Like,
Right.
Listen, by any means necessary, make it happen legally.
Legally. Unless you're looking for free 3 hots in a cot, that's on you. That's you.
I guess that would keep you from being
starving or homeless
right.
and from being lonely. There's somebody in there with you.
Right.
There's somebody in there with you. Trust me. But again, I'm not here to judge. I don't own a gavel. I've never passed the bar. Never even checked into law school. So I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to let you to hear me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to hear me out.
So
and that's all.
In terms of whether your wife's idea was better or your idea was better, figure it out between the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
Communicate effectively and figure out what works well, and then launch that, and then launch the other one, or launch them both
simultaneously. Yeah, if you can do them simultaneously, that's even better. Because if you think about it, when y'all talk together, you've already got one thing ahead of a lot of relationships: the willingness to communicate. And when you're communicating, it's a two-way street. Communication is a two-way street. You have to speak with passion and with conviction, but you also have to listen, not to respond, but to absorb. You want to be able to take in what they're saying, absorb it, and then if you need to wring it out, you'll figure it out better that way. But if you talk to each other, and y'all may decide on this going together, y'all may be doing the same thing, but y'all have the ability and the willingness to communicate. So that in itself is a big up. So I clap to y'all on that one, because a lot of people do not have that. So with that being said, you were willing to send me a letter. So even if you have to write it down for her, if it feels better coming off of your chest in writing, because you spoke eloquently for me, like you spoke without any or anything. Like, I'm looking at your writing here, and you spoke amazingly to me, but I just wanted to know exactly what it is that you wanted to say. I mean, she wants to know what you have to say to her. So if you have to write it down, write it down. But you're already in the communicative arena. So stay in that way. Don't be hiding and trying to keep secrets and be like, I'm not going to tell her. That's weak. That means you're afraid of her.
Maybe that's why you're writing in.
Hey, and if that's the case,
go to therapy.
That's it. Therapy works for
first of all, if y'all gonna work together, for sure go to therapy.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Someone on my comments here says that they miss us on the morning wood, but
told y'all it's coming back.
But I mean, they need to learn how to communicate effectively.
Yeah.
I feel like in a partnership, you should be able to say, hey, you know what? I really didn't like that. This, the way that this was going to go, maybe we can reevaluate some things. Maybe we can see how this can work differently. I mean, otherwise, if you're going to run a business together and live together and have to deal with each other all day, that's going to be a challenge.
Man, listen. So, like you say, to be able to say, I didn't like something. The one thing that I learned how to communicate with my wife is to not go in thinking of a right or wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no right, there's no wrong. We just stating the feelings. Mm-hmm. So if I say I didn't like something that she did, I don't want her to feel like she's wrong for doing it. Mm-hmm. It's just I didn't appreciate it. So moving forward, if it was to be repeated, then that in itself would be blatant. But to just discuss something that wasn't like, or something that you really enjoyed, that you miss. So in this same instance, they're like, hey, babe, just to be heads up, like, after thinking about it, I believe that, we can look at this business venture through different eyes. Not saying, I think you were right about yours or I was wrong about mine, because you go in feeling either a little bit, deflated by feeling you're wrong, or you may feel like you're inflating her to where she's going to walk around like, told you I was right. Whatever you may feel, false evidence appearing real is, that's fear. So if you go in not thinking that there's a right or a wrong, just go and say, hey, let's reevaluate this and see what the outcome is now. I think that might be a better approach to how you're feeling. Okay. So yeah. So, and if you feel like you want to respond, today, call us up. 702-551-5261. Or anybody else who feels like they have a response to this said letter, give us a call. 702-551-5261. But that's what we're here. That's what I'm here for. The homie's here for that. You know, I just happened to pop in today and be able to see E. Caris in the building with me today. You know, what you looking for?
The plug.
Oh, sorry about that. We got all kind of stuff going on here in studio. That has nothing to do with that. Yeah, it's over there somewhere. But yeah, so we got that going on. But another portion of the show is a segment called What You Said. And what you said is something, what you said is a phrase that I picked up living in Nashville back in the day. As people, you know, it's just an agreement. People like, what you said? But what I do for the Holla at the Homie show is what you said is an opportunity for people, whether you're a writer, a poet, a song artist, or maybe somebody who's mainstream already. I find music or words that they have said that go along with the theme of the day. Like, you know, taking chances, or today would be like taking chances, taking a leap, stuff like that, right? So what you said segment is for those people out there. If you have any independent music and things of that nature, so hit me up, you know, holla at the homie at gmail.com. And we'll get you in here. We'll get you on air, get you online, and get you to be able to talk about why it is what you said. But what I really do is break down what it feels like to me, your words coming off the page. So today's artist that we have for my What You Said segment is actually yours truly, 360 the Poet. You know, it's always an opportunity to break down my lyrics from time to time, but just to show you exactly how this whole thing works. That's my intention behind it, to show you how it works, right? So let me see here. Let me go up to this direction. And we're going to go right back here with it. Okay, so we talked about today about having fear and taking a leap of faith, or what's next? What are you going to do next? And coincidentally, I actually have a piece entitled What's Next? And it really goes along with the letter that was read to us today. So I'm going to break down I'm going to do different segments of it. I'm not going to do the whole piece. I'm going to break down different segments of it like I would do somebody's song, like different bars, and dissect what it is that feels to me that goes along with today's segment. So a part of it is like, it says, okay, so you've come to a point in your life where the things you say people actually want to hear, but you're still not clear on whether you can make this into a career. Listen here. You got to strike while the iron is hot, because the gifts you've been given, quite frankly, everyone does not. I know you may think that you have time, the time you have left is a lot, but just because you're stalling on your ball and doesn't mean that the world is going to stop. And then it goes on to say, tick tock is the thunderous war cry of your most fierce opponent. Then the last thing I'll break down, it says, everyone faces him, but the victorious will tell you that the key is wrapped up in how bad you want it. So those words right there, of course, they were written by me, but they go along with what Mr. Scared to Pull the Trigger was talking about. It says, so you've come to a point in your life where, you know, he's at a point in his life where the money has been given to him to where he can actually do the things that he's been dreaming about doing. And now his apprehension is not in the belief on whether or not he can bring it to life. So that's my dissection on that particular part of how this goes along with that. But it's fast forwards on to say, you know, you got to strike while the iron is hot, and that's a real big point. Just because y'all have this money right now, scared to pull the trigger, doesn't mean it won't dwindle away. Doesn't mean something won't occur where, you know, you have to make emergency funds come up out of nowhere. But that's probably your apprehension to say, like, is that going to happen to me? Is something I do going to be put to the back burner and now I'm have to be stuck with this business? Nah, man, you got to strike while the iron is hot. So you put yourself in position for your business to put you back on top financially. I don't think you wanted to start a business just for the sake of starting a business. I think you wanted to do it to have a financial gain. So if the opportunity is now, there's no need to wait and sit around and see when it's going to be the right time for you to really, you know, pull the trigger per se, like you said. Then fast forwarding on to tick tock is the thunderous war cry of your most fierce opponent. That's time, man. You're going against time. and everybody faces him. And it says the victorious tell you that the win is wrapped up in how bad you want it. So, Mr. Scared to pull the trigger, do you really want it? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Like, or is this just an idea you've had in your head for all these years, and you just hoping that one day out of nowhere, you miraculously, it comes about. There's no draft for ideas. There's no lottery for ideas. And only way for an idea to come to life is you have to feed it. You have to water it. You have to jump out there and actually make it happen. Nobody's going to just bring it to you and set it on your lap. Yeah, you may see it all the time. Oh, well, this person did this person did that. But do you understand their preparation and to get to where they were? Understand that everything may not be in the timing for you. So that's the reason why you may be apprehensive about it. But it's not about the timing now. It's about the timing you thought about before. Why didn't it come before? And why is it going to happen now just because I got a little bit of money in my pocket? So tick tock, you going against the number one opponent that we all face, man. And that's time. And it waits for nobody. You've heard everything. Time waits for no man. Every second is worth $1 million or whatever the case may be. Time is the one thing that you can never pay anybody back. If you write me a check for $1 million, I can save $1 million $1 bills and give them back to you, and we can say we're even. But if I give you 10 minutes on April the 5th, 2023, I can't give that back to you because those minutes will never come back. So face the time, stand up to the time, be ready to get on board and do what it is you're supposed to do. So what do you think about that? Are you still in the building? Let me see. You still over there? Let me click you.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm here. I'm here. Look at you trying to be all deep.
I know.
Snap all the snaps and everything. First of all, I like your lyrics. Okay.
Thank you.
What poem was that from?
That one's called "What's Next."
That part. That's really the answer to
that is. That's really that, and
that's the answer.
It's ironic that this letter came in. That this is really like you wrote to me for a reason. It was a reason why you wrote this letter to me.
Yeah, and like what? So what you gonna do at this point? What you gonna do, sir?
I can even go to the goody mob. You need to get up, get out, and get something. Don't let the days of your life pass by. You need to get up, get out, and get something. Don't spend all your time asking why. See, I changed. Part. You have your remixes sometimes. Don't spend all your time asking why, even though it was saying get out, trying to get high, but you getting high off your fear.
See, we can use these
analogies and words in different ways. You're high off your fear. It's putting you in a euphoric state, or it's putting you in an altered state to where you're not yourself. When you're afraid, you're not you. Be you.
I think it's okay to be afraid.
I mean, it's okay to be afraid. It's a thing called healthy fear.
But it's not okay to not take action because you have scared yourself so much. Just trust yourself. Just like every day, you trust yourself to get up and get yourself dressed? Do you trust yourself to drive and stop at the lights? Do you trust yourself for certain things? I have to ask myself, do I trust myself to give myself grace enough in order to make things happen?
Yeah.
And I think that that's important. You have to figure out, hey, am I going to be okay to be a little risky? Okay, because things get risky. You have to, take sacrifices and risk. And then too, I think you were talking about having to come come up with money out of nowhere. That is the life of an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
for real. I'm talking about out the whole ass. Okay, that's where you got to pull it.
Okay? Where you find that? Oh, that was Upper West Side of my colon.
Right. Had to get a colonoscopy just to get that.
Just to get that money out. Right.
Jeez. I mean, and then too, you understand that you're going to be a professional troubleshooter. Don't even call yourself a CEO. Okay, because you definitely are going to figure out things along the way. Okay, and figure out how to keep them working, make them work, and all that. So not only are you going to have to finance things out of your ass, you're going to have to trust yourself that you can fix things, and then use the Googler.
The Googler.
So, and when I say use the Googler, I mean, you can use all types of resources. I use resources like my friends. I use resources like reading. You know, I ask questions. I don't have a problem with saying, hey, I don't really know how to do this. I'm going to have to figure this out.
Yes.
You know, and understand that you are not perfect and that you are okay to, you know, move forward and make mistakes. And then 2, that you are okay to correct them, you know, and make sure that things work well.
I think one of the biggest tools in my entrepreneur business owner bag is my ability to say, I don't understand that. I don't know.
Like your phone.
Yeah. You know me. Oh, man, me and my phone. Oh, my goodness. The struggle is real with me and my phone, boy. They call it the iPhone. I'll be like, the why phone? Like, why? Why are you doing this to me? You know what I mean? So like, somebody was asking about what's the topic of today. Today's topic was about pulling the trigger, being able to jump out there on the ledge and finally say you believe in what it is you're doing, and this is how you're going to do it. So that's the basic topic. Appreciate you for asking that, Hella Adrian. I appreciate that. But like, yeah, so you have my biggest tool in my bag as a business owner was me saying, I don't understand what you mean by that. Get a clear understanding of any time you're doing business. You know, one of the biggest things, like my brother Cece told me, it was like, you know what I mean? The business deal is when it's win-win for both sides. You know, and when I started looking at that for, you know, is it worth my time? Is my time, you know, the thing I'm doing to you, is my service worth the money I'm asking you for? And if it's a win-win, nobody's feeling like they've got, then that's when you come out on top. That's when it's a true business deal. And that's just IMO. You know how these kids say IMO, in my opinion. But that's a real thing. And in my bag of business tools, me being able to get an understanding was the most helpful thing to say. I don't know what you mean by that. You know, they'd be like, can you blah, 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 blah. I'd be like, I've never heard of that before. You know, if you talk to me about it, I'll figure it out. You know, because like I say, like she said, use your resources. YouTube University is a mud, boy. Everybody enrolled in that one time. Google,
all
like she said, your friends.
Read a book.
And don't be afraid. See, a lot of people look at people in their same industry as competition.
No.
I don't look at people in my industry of my business as competition.
Because they don't do the same things you do.
Exactly. I look at them as industry mates.
I'm not even going to get up and say the same poetry that you say.
Nobody. Nobody.
Yeah.
And not to say, well, you know, who's to say to do it better? It's not about being better. It's about doing it with conviction, with passion, and with the understanding that you're doing it because it's what you want to do.
And with integrity.
And with integrity.
Do everything with integrity.
And for those of y'all that don't know what integrity is, that's doing the right thing even when nobody's watching. You know what I mean? That's a real word that people don't often, that's a word that people don't put on their back. People like, oh, I'm loyal this, or I'm this, that, and the third. But do you have integrity? You know what I mean? Because your loyalty may be to you and to the benefit of who you are, but your integrity is just innately your character. Ooh, innately. I like that word. That's one of my favorite words in the English dictionary.
You got 1 minute left. So what I'm excited about what's happening next week. What's happening the week after that. I'm excited about how. I
always like to give people a little bit of a teaser on what's happening. So next week we talk about fidelity and infidelity and how to stop being one or the other. We're talking about a little bit about open relationships next week. Then in the following weeks, we're going to talk a few more things. You know, we're going to get into talking about, like, you know, what to do when it is like doing business with friends. Not even about.
Do not recommend. 1 star.
Man, listen. My sister-in-law Carmen just told me the other day. She didn't tell me, but she told a story talking about how she don't do business with family because she like to keep her family. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the realest.
And you can have family that's very supportive. Like my siblings are super supportive. Like they will help. They're helpful. I can employ them if I need to. I can hire them to do something.
Yes.
But that's it.
I don't want to do business with you.
I'm going to help them do something, whatever. Like, we're going to help each other.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I actually don't think that they would be bad business partners.
I don't think so either.
However, there are some people that you be like, nah, don't do it. Get somebody else to do it.
Dog. I know a person who know a person. So don't forget, chime in every Wednesday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific time. So that's 5 to 6 Central and 6 to 7 all my East Coasters, all my folks down there in the A and out there in the DMV and down there in Florida, you know. So all my folks in those areas, all my people over there in the Midwest, catch me at 5 o'clock every Wednesday. It's called Holla at the Homie. So make sure you chime in, click in on hot7025fm.com. Get the app, the Hot 7025FM app, or you can tune in to the live either on Facebook, Instagram. We'll make sure we have all those things going. And you can always pick up and find the replay of the show. It'll be up by every Friday on my YouTube at Holla at the Homie with 360 the Poet. So until next time, make sure you tell your friends to call in 702-551-5261 or email me your letters at hollaatthehomie@gmail.com. That's HOLLAATTHAHOMIE. Holla at the Homie. 360, Holla at the Homie. That's me. That's the song. So you got your theme song stuck in your head. So until next Wednesday, as always, I'm your man, 360 the Poet. That's THAPOET. That's tenacity, heart, and attitude. Present opportunities every time. Also known as the Atmosphere Pioneer. Right here on hot7025fm.com and out there on Instagram, Facebook, live, all that good stuff. So I appreciate everybody who chimed in today. I appreciate the people who sent in letters. I appreciate my in-studio specialist, professional business owner here today, a.k.a. my friend, a.k.a. my sister, Icaris, a.k.a. the boss of the station. So until next week, we're going to holler at y'all. And peace and blessings, y'all, in a minute.